I keep hearing the same story from friends who tried to save a few bucks on a cheap sit-stand desk. They get a wobbling platform, a motor that rattles every time they raise it, and a surface that scratches after a month of normal use. The regret shows up in the return box and in the frustration of trying to work while the desk shakes. That's the exact scenario I wanted to avoid, so I dug into the Vari Command Center electric standing desk before hitting record. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The biggest hesitation most people have is whether they're paying for genuine performance or just a flashy design that looks good on a photo. The market is flooded with desks that promise quiet motors and sturdy frames, yet a lot of them fall short when you actually load them with a dual-monitor rig, a laptop, and a handful of accessories. I was especially wary of the quiet claim because I work from a home office that doubles as a study room for my kids. Any whirring would be a constant distraction. With that in mind, I focused on a desk that could handle real-world weight, stay silent while moving, and still look like a piece of furniture rather than a lab bench. Vari has built a reputation for premium office furniture, and the Command Center model leans heavily into that reputation. The first thing that struck me was the immersive 120-centimeter curved command center that spans the entire width of the desk. It's not just a flat slab. The surface gently follows the natural arc of a keyboard and mouse setup, which means my wrists stay in a more neutral position when I'm typing for hours. The curve also gives me a little extra real estate at the edges for a notepad or a phone without crowding the main work zone. That design choice isn't just aesthetic, it actually reduces the strain of reaching for peripherals that would otherwise sit at the very edge of a rectangular desk. Setting it up was a Saturday afternoon project. The box was hefty, but the parts were clearly labeled, and the instructions walked you through each step without assuming you're a professional installer. The frame bolts together solidly, and once the legs are anchored, the desk feels as stable as a solid piece of wood. I did notice the weight of the assembled unit. It's definitely not a desk you'll be moving around the house every few weeks. If you're looking for something you can roll on and off a carpet, this isn't it. But that mass is part of why the desk stays rocksteady when I push heavy equipment onto it. The height adjustment mechanism is where Vari really shows off. Two dual motors work together, delivering a smooth lift that takes about 15 seconds to move from a low sitting position to a full standing height. The motors are impressively quiet. I can actually hear the faint hum of the motor when I'm standing up, but it's far below the level of conversation, and once the desk stops, there's absolute silence. That quiet operation is a practical win for anyone sharing a space with a partner, kids, or even a pet who's easily startled by loud noises. The control panel is placed right at the front, just above the sloped edge, making it easy to hit the right button without taking your eyes off the screen. Speaking of the sloped front edge, that ergonomic detail is more than a design flourish. When I'm standing, the front of the desk tilts down a few degrees, which prevents my forearms from hovering in the air and reduces shoulder fatigue. It's subtle, but after a few hours of coding or drawing, the difference is noticeable. The slope also creates a natural lip that keeps pens, stylus pens, or a coffee mug from sliding off when I'm leaning forward, something I've seen happen on flat desks that lack that little barrier. Cable management is another area where the Command Center earns points. Hidden channels run beneath the desk surface, and the curved Command Center includes built-in clips that keep power strips and USB hubs neatly tucked away. I've got a monitor arm, a dock, and a lamp all plugged in, and there's no unsightly spaghetti of cords spilling onto the floor. The smart extras include a USB-C charging port on the control panel, which means I can keep my phone topped up without hunting for a wall outlet. Those conveniences are the kind of everyday wins that don't get shouted about in spec sheets, but make a desk feel thoughtfully designed. Who should buy this desk? If you're a professional who spends 8 or more hours a day at a computer, especially with a multi-monitor setup, the stability and quiet lift are worth the investment. The ergonomic front slope is ideal for developers, graphic designers, or anyone who does a lot of mouse work and wants to reduce shoulder and forearm strain. The premium finish in Walnut and Slate also makes it a good fit for a home office that doubles as a client-facing space. You're getting a piece of furniture that